Hello everyone, we are Team 15 and today we'll be presenting our work on image colorization using GAN. Image colorization has always been a great topic among machine learning enthusiasts who have tried to restore the color of vintage images and comic books. And we really love this topic and wanted to work further on it. The task for this project contains of improving our pix-to-pix model by producing better accuracy in the colors with lesser training data. And this we achieve by pre-training the generator of our GAN. The two datasets that we have used for our work are the COCO dataset and the Imager dataset. And this is because the COCO dataset contains various objects and scenarios which would help a model to learn much better. And our Imager dataset would be used to train the ResNet model, which would in order be used to train our generator of the GAN model. We have used 8,000 images for training and 2,000 images for validation. We then move on to the format of the data that we have given to the model. So we have used an LAB format in order to train our model. And this is because if we had given an RGB image to a model would have to predict three channels, that is the R, G, and B. But in case of an LAB model, we just need to feed the grayscale image and it produces the A and B as the output, which is lesser time consuming as compared to producing all the three outputs, that is the R, G, and B. So for a baseline model, we have a conditional GAN architecture where the condition is a grayscale image, which we provide to our generator and it further then generates the image and combines it. Then along with the training data, we give these two to the discriminator, which then discriminates it between being fake and real. The loss function that we use here is a combination of conditional GAN loss and L1 loss, and we finally use this combination in order to predict our outputs. We then move on to the unit model of our generator. We first have the encoder part, which finds all the features from the images and puts it into the bottleneck. And this bottleneck features are then used by the decoder in order to produce our output, which is our fake image. It is then sent to the discriminator, which discriminates it between being fake and real. In a normal GAN, we use a normal discriminator, but for the purpose of our work, we have used a patch discriminator. This is because the patch discriminator just takes patches of the images and then predicts whether it is real or fake. So we now see the results produced by a baseline model. We train a baseline model for 20 epochs, and here are the results that have been produced. We see that the certain images still have grayish or brownish portions, and this is because whenever the model gets confused, it just averages out and fills in a grayish or brownish color in there. Our baseline model would have produced really good results if it would have been trained for greater number of epochs, but one of the main aims of a project is to reduce the training and produce more accurate results. We know that GANs produce really good results in multitudes of tasks, but they suffer with the problem of blind leading the blind, where neither the discriminator nor the generator know what's the task in hand. So we try to improve the baseline model by improvising it. So we do that in two steps. The first steps consist of pre-training the downsampling path of the unit generator for classification, and the second part consists of pre-training the entire generator for improving the results of colorization. And we do this by using the ResNet-18 convolution neural network as a backbone of a generator while pre-training it. So the very first step that we talked about was pre-training the downsampling part of the unit generator. For this portion, we had a lot of state-of-art models that already exist, and therefore we just plan to use transfer learning. We use a ResNet 18 model over here by loading its pre-trained weights and performing the task. We then pre-train the entire generator by taking the ResNet 18 as a backbone and producing A and B, which were our output channels. Once we have all these pre-trained weights with us, we just use all these parameters to retrain our GAN model again. Again, we use the same patch discriminator and the same L1 loss and this conditional GAN loss that we were using. We now see the results produced by our improvised model. As you can see over here, we don't have many images which have the grayish or the brownish color in them, and the model performed really good in predicting the colors of the images. So we now compare the results of a baseline model and the improvised model. As we can see that a baseline model was not able to give all the colors really well. It did not have a distinguished boundary between the colors and it had a lot of grayish and brownish patches wherever the model was not able to predict the colors. The patches were not predicted really nicely. Whereas in case of our improvised model, we see that we have clear distinction between the different colors. There's a clear boundary between the colors that have been predicted, and also we see that there are almost no grayish or brownish patches, which means that our model performed really good and it was able to predict the colors of the images really well as compared to the baseline model. So to conclude, we were able to achieve the task that we took in this project and were able to improvise the baseline model and produce really good, accurate results. As we saw in the results that the colorization had really improved, and if we do further work on this, then we will be able to achieve even more better results. Thank you.